Hi, welcome to Chapter 26. In hindsight, World War II may seem inevitable, but as the events unfolded at the time, it wasn't really clear what would happen. This chapter looks at the events and the decisions surrounding the entry of World War II, whether the United States could have stayed out of the war, or whether they should have stayed out of the war, and if we had any other ways that we could have participated. Was there anything we could have done differently? Many people, including FDR and Winston Churchill, had recognized the danger signs. U.S.-Japanese tensions had been increasing in the 4 decades prior to Pearl Harbor, especially over Japan's expansionist policy in China and the rest of Asia. Roosevelt and his foreign policy advisors didn't understand Japan and its motives and aspirations. So America's policy toward the empire of the rising sun was badly mishandled. Japan's true power was underestimated as well, and American policymakers forced Japan into a situation where it felt like it had to attack the U.S. or risk losing the raw materials needed for domestic goods and international expansion. Feeling war with the United States was inevitable, Japan inflicted a devastating first strike on Pearl Harbor on December 7, 1941. Fascism rose from economic and political turmoil in Germany, Italy, and Eastern Europe at this time. Mussolini came into power in Italy in 1922. Germany, beset by war reparations, the Depression, and a political culture strongly divided between the extreme right and the extreme left, succumbed to the machinations of Hitler and the Nazi Party. Hitler negotiated a non-aggression pact with Stalin, and then both invaded and divided Poland in 1939. World War II had begun. Quickly capturing much of Western Europe, Hitler was an obvious threat to world stability and the United States itself. Overcoming the efforts of isolationists, FDR secured substantial help for Britain with Lend-Lease and then committed the United States to other actions that increased the likelihood of war with Germany. Pearl Harbor led the United States to go to war on both fronts. America quickly geared up for war, helped in part by a preparedness campaign that began in 1939. The government took control of major sectors of the economy, and the massive government spending on armaments lifted our country out of the Depression. Hitler overextended his military, trying to fight too many armies and occupy too much territory all at once. His biggest mistake was the invasion of the Soviet Union, and by 1943, losses in that country signaled the turnaround for the Allies. By 1945, the Allies had pushed the Germans back into German territory from 3 broad fronts: from the east through Eastern Europe, from the south through Italy, and from the west through France. Surrender soon followed. In the Pacific, the United States gained the upper hand in the Battle of Midway, but had to battle island by island to come within striking distance of the Japanese homeland. In a controversial decision, President Truman ordered dropping of atomic bombs on Hiroshima and Nagasaki, resulting in quick surrender, at that point, by the Japanese.